And, we've been talking about St. Peter's as a really good model of what I think we're trying to do. We played St. Peter's 3 years ago, and we had them down 21 in this gym, and they had the same core guys. They had Nick Leon in the backcourt with Wesley Jenkins and Ryan Bacon, and I watched that tape about a week ago. Just amazing how much they've developed and matured in 3 years. We beat them at our place here 3 years ago, and now they've become a really good unit, a really good group, and really they can win the league. They can go to the NCAA tournament, and would not be a surprise to me at all.
Coach, at the start today, do you think that was a product then of that maturity, that they came right out and then kind of blitzed you guys, got you back on your heels a little bit?
They're in second place. They ain't a bad team. It's not like they're coming out just against Marist. I mean, you got to look at the tape. You got to sit down and watch the Siena tape and all the other tapes. I mean, they're coming out like that every night. They're a pick for second for a reason. They're in second place for a reason. I mean, that team's got a chance to go to the NCAA tournament. They got 3 all-conference players on that team: Ryan Bacon, the 2 guards, and Jenkins and Nick Leon. That is not like a mistake. They've been playing really good basketball. They've been playing really good basketball throughout the entire year, and they're good. They go after you, and they understand tempo, they understand situations, they understand how to win now, where 2 years ago they struggled with that a little bit.
Coach, how much was missing 2 of your bigger guys? How much did that hurt you overall tonight?
You look at the stats, not much. We had 16 offensive rebounds. That was the best we've ever done on the offensive glass since I've been here. I mean, we out-rebounded them by 10 on the offensive glass. So we got out-rebounded overall by 1. But, I mean, Jay Bowie was tremendous. He's a freshman guy, had 5 rebounds. That was great. 5 offensive rebounds, six total. Dorvell Carter had 2 offensive rebounds. So I thought it would hurt us a little bit more on the glass, but apparently not as much as I thought as the game was going on.
The defensive rebounding, though, I know is where you start your break often. How much of that is that double-edged sword that you're giving up, the points in the paint on the one end, keeping you from the offense? How tough does that make it on you guys?
Oh, it makes it challenging, but if you remember the first few minutes of the game, we had opportunities to convert easy baskets, and we didn't do it. So sometimes you want to, put all the responsibility on your defense, where, there were a number of opportunities where we had the ball in the paint. All we had to do is make a layup, and, we missed it, we fumbled it. So really, if we converted those easy layups, it's a tie ball game. You're down by 1, you're down by 2. So yeah, we could have done a better job defensively. But if you've got easy opportunities at the basket, you've got to take advantage of them. And early on, I thought we had some really good opportunities at the basket.
In the first 5 minutes or so, you called the 2 timeouts and had the additional timeout, trying to keep possession. What sort of things are you trying to go over to, turn things around?
Well, we talked about winning the 50-50 battle, loose balls, diving on the floor. We talked about being the tougher team, and then the first few possessions we gave up 2 offensive rebounds. So obviously what we talked about in the locker room and what we've been working on for the past 2 days didn't translate the first 5 minutes. So I wanted to get my guys' attention and say, hey, you got to win the 50-50 battle. You got to win the battle on the glass. You can't turn the ball over. And then we settled down a little bit, and got a little bit better.
Jay and Dorvell, with this losing streak, is there a level of frustration that's starting to come into play, and how are you dealing with that?
Usually go harder in practice. I mean, there's frustration, but we just know we got to stick together, and we'll get through this.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but we still look at it as we still have 5 more games left, and really the season starts in March at Fairfield. So if we could get a couple of games in March, that will help us going into next year, because we got our core group of kids coming back. I think we're the only team in the MAC that might have, we have 13 players coming back, so we might be the only team that have everybody coming back. So if we just still got to play together, play hard, and we're going to get it together.
Coach, there were a few times that you looked like you were going to make some inway on that deficit.
Yeah.
How much of the game tonight was not so much the defense, but not making stops when you needed to get runs going?
Not making defensive stops?
Well, not making the stops after the offense starts going to get a little run going.
Yeah, no, we had a few possessions where you're right there, and we missed a layup in transition that would have cut it to 11. And then if you come down and get a stop, and in the score you cut it to single digits, but we missed the layup. The score's 11. No, the score's 13. They hit a 3, it goes to 16. So yeah, we've had a handful of possessions in this game, Kenesha's game, and in the Niagara game where it was within reach, 8 points, 7 points, and then we turned the ball over, it didn't make a layup or didn't convert on an easy basket, and then the opposing team came back that next possession and made a basket. And it's
Right
hard.
before the end of the half.
Correct, right. It's hard to compete and win when that takes place, and that's that's a part of their journey. They gotta understand it and learn how to play through that.
Yeah, Jay, was it tough to keep that mindset going in the second half, knowing you were playing better in the second half, and yet the lead was kind of just staying still?
I mean, it was tough, but we just knew we had to play harder. We didn't end up cutting all the way into the deficit, but we just got to carry our effort in the second half over to the next games.
The one thing that we try to remind our guys is you can do all the right things and not get the results you want. And then it's very easy for you to dismiss all the things that you've done because you've got so many outside influences who want you to be frustrated, who want you to be, tearing each other apart in the locker room. And that's not who we are. I know people hope we become that, but that's not who we are. Is it frustrating? Yes. Is it challenging at times? Yes. But we've done some really good things. We just haven't gotten the results that we want. And we always keep sight of that. We never forget that. You did some good things. Could have done them better. But we've done some good things. You just haven't gotten the results. And that's challenging. That's certainly challenging. There's no doubt about it. But we don't lose sight of it.
The offense today, it took, I think, 17 minutes for you to pick up your first assist.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you're concerned about? And if so, how would you turn that around?
Oh, absolutely. You got to give St. Peter's credit. They're real physical. Any of our pin-down action, single-double action, they were really physical with Sam and Devin and Jay and Dorvell trying to knock us off screens. And we've got to learn how to play with that intensity. We've got to learn how to be more physical. We've got to learn how to set our guys up a little bit better. And there's no doubt that they disrupted our offense at times. So, yeah, we're concerned. We got to get better at it.
Any other questions?
No, Coach, how tough is it to compete when you've got like three or four guys out there playing 35+ minutes because your bench is a little short?
It's challenging, but the one thing we talk about in our locker room, and it's just, I guess, my personality, we're not victims in the locker room. We're not coming into every game or every practice feeling bad about ourselves. We talked about, would we like to have R.J. Hall? Absolutely. Would we like to have Adam Kemp? Absolutely. Melanie Watson? Absolutely. But they're not here. So we're not coming into games and practices with this mindset of, man, what are we going to do? We asked the team at the end of the game, in the locker room, how many of you missed free throws? Handful of guys. How many of you guys missed the layup? Just one layup. Handful of guys. How many of you guys missed the rebound? Handful of guys. And we added the points. You would have won the game by 7. You make your free throws, breakaway layup, get a rebound you should have gotten, keep those guys off the glass. You beat a team by 7. So we're not walking around asking people for sympathy and, man, you're depleted. You can still compete. You can still win games. It's a lesson to be learned for our guys. That's life. You've got to figure out a way to overcome. You got to figure out a way to get yourself together, get on the same page, overcome and win those games, or at least compete for them. So are they challenging? Absolutely. Not having those guys hurt a little bit, but not once did we come in the game saying he's not good enough or he's not good enough. And then here's Dorvell Carter. Here's a kid, 18 points and 2 rebounds, and then here's Jay Bowie, a freshman, against the second best team in the league. He gets 15 and 6. So not a bad night for a young group of guys who are going to have a lot of success in the next 3 years together.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, appreciate you.